Let me see. Let me make sure that I'm back where I need to be. Make sure the sound is up. All right. I hope you can hear me. I know that nobody is expecting me to be on right now. So I'm doing this because I recorded the 10 o'clock Facebook Live. Oh, okay. I recorded the 10 o'clock Facebook Live Thursday, Stampin' Thursday, on the wrong group page. And because I couldn't see anything, it was upside down. So I said, you know what? I'm just going to redo it. I'm just going to redo it, post it on YouTube. At least it'll be here on my Facebook page. Anyway, good morning. I'm so glad to be on here live and able to see what you can see so that it'll be more fun. We are going to work with Petal Park today. Before we get to that, I just want to remind you that my monthly stamp club, the March monthly stamp club, closes tomorrow. So if you want to participate in that using the Playing in the Rain bundle, then I would love to have you join the monthly stamp club, and all the information is on this webpage. Free gift for each person who subscribes. So be sure and do that by tomorrow, so you'll get this special paper pumpkin 10th anniversary paper pumpkin set. All right, that's it. I'm going to turn the phone down and we are going to get busy. I don't want you to get dizzy while I adjust all of this stuff. So I'm just going to move this up a little bit, and then we'll be on screen. All right, Petal Park. That's what we're working on today. We are going to play with it. We're not working on anything. We're going to play with Petal Park. Do you love to get in your stamp room, wherever that is? It might be a closet. It might be a bedroom. Do you love to get on there and just get in there and just play? I love to do that. I hope you do too. Anyway, that's what we're going to do today. We're just going to play. Petal Park. Let me show you a couple of sample cards using Petal Park. This one uses the leaf dies and the flower die leaf stamps, the flower stamps and dies. And I added a couple of distressed gold leaves because I had gold in the ribbon over here. And so I thought it needed a little bit of gold in the flower. This is a thank you card that I made for someone. So it just has a little bitty thanks over here in the corner. All right. And then there's this one. Oh, I love this one. This is using this dry brushed metallic paper. Oh my goodness, this paper is gorgeous. The sheet I used is blues and different colors of blues and gold, and there's another sheet in there using pinks and oranges. It's so pretty. So the matte is from the Starry Sky. No, Night Lights designer series paper that's in the annual catalog. And then this piece was cut from the dry brushed metallic paper. And then the flowers were cut from the dry brushed metallic paper. So I hope you can see the, I think you can see it more that way or that way maybe, the shine on these flowers. It's beautiful. I also used the adhesive backed sequins and gems because the colors fit so perfectly. All right, that's another one. And then there's this fun fold card made with the Hello Irresistible paper. I love that paper. Oh my goodness, I love that paper. So that's a pretty fun fold. And on this one, I used the chic leaf die because I thought it looked a lot like the leaf, this white leaf in the paper. And I wanted to draw that out. And so I put a couple of those leaves on there. But then I stamped and die cut, punched the rest of the flowers and the leaves. So, and if you wanted to add a piece of basic white to the back, so you'd have some room to write a note, of course you could do that. All right, so those are just 3 of the cards that I have been playing around with this week. And we're going to make one together. But first, let's look at this bundle. All right, so here we have our stamp set. Let me get this down. Here we have our stamp set. And in the stamp set, you are going to have, here is your outline leaf. So these are your, this is your outline, and we're going to talk about a way to use this, but you can see the outline. And then you come back, it's 2-step stamping. So then you come back and put the shading in with a different stamp. And it looks so beautiful. The same thing with the flowers. You have your outline flowers, and the 3 flowers are attached so that when you punch all 3 out. Cool, huh? So that's your outline flowers. And here are your shading flowers. And you also have some small flowers and the shading. And you've got leaves. And this leaf also punches out. I'm going to show you how to do that here in a minute. And you've got the shading. You've got some little branches, and let's see, the shading for that. Where's the shading? Right there. The shading for that. And you have some specks, some splatters, little bitty splatters. All right, so let's look at some tricks to using this set. Let's look at the card we're going to make first. So this is using Flirty Flamingo. It is also a fun fold card. Here are the measurements for the card. So the base is 5.5 by 8.5, and it's scored at 1 7/8 and 4 1/4. And I've already scored this, and so we're going to fold this one in and burnish it with our bone folder. Get a good burnish on there. And then we're going to fold this one back, creating our fun fold. Give that a good burnish as well. All right. And then we are going to have a area on the front, a focal piece, and it is 4 1/4 by 3. And I used the same cardstock. You do, you do you. And then the piece that we're going to stamp our focal image on is just 1/4 inch smaller than the cardstock piece. And so it is 4 by 2 3/4. That's where we'll do our stamping. And then we have an inside piece that is the same size as this one, 4 by 2 3/4, and we're going to snug it up under this front piece. All right, and then we have our Designer Series paper pieces, and the Designer Series paper that I used from this is from the Playing in the Rain bundle, Rain or Shine bundle, because I love these colors and I wanted to bring in these colors in our flowers. So this piece is for the inside and it's 4 by 5 3/8, and I wanted to make sure that my Mango Melody, that color showed. So I cut it so that it would show. And then this piece is going to be here, and it is 2 1/4 by 5 3/8. And you'll need to cut two that size. I didn't cut them the same pattern, but you want them to be the same size. 2 1/4 by 5 3/8. And that one's going to go right there. And I'm going to make sure that my Mango Melody shows from that too. And then for the front, it's 1 3/4 by 5 3/8. And I chose a different pattern. And then your inside piece is that second 2 1/4 by 5 3/8 that you cut. And it'll go right there. So that's our designer series paper. Let's go ahead and put it on, because there's no reason not to go ahead and put it on. Let me get my Stampin' Seal, and we're going to get the inside piece, which is 4 by 5 3/8. So we're going to get it on. All right, right here. And remember, I want my Mango Melody to show. So we're going to center it as best we can. All right. And then on this inside, I'm going to put this piece. And I want my fleur-de-lis going the right way. So we'll get it on. And it just fits right in there. There we go. And on the outside, we'll use this piece. And it is the 1 3/4 by 5 3/8. So make sure our fleur-de-lis are going the right way. And it's going to go right. I'm going to open it up so I can see it. Yeah. Yeah. It keeps moving. All right. And then our last piece of designer series paper is going to go right here. Whoa, I didn't cut that one right. I think I didn't finish trimming it. It should be 5 3/8. So 1 2 3. One, 2 3/8 right there. I thought, no, wait a minute. All right. 5 3/8. That should do it. All right, here we go. Get my okay. And we want our Mango Melody to show on the outside. So we'll put it down just like that. There we go. All right, now we've got our designer series paper on. And this just, you know, it really, you don't open that up. It just shows, that edge shows. It ties those two together. All right. Now we're going to do our stamping. I'm going to set this aside. I'll put this over here. hopefully you can still see that. All right, so we'll set this aside for a minute. So here's what we're going to do our stamping on. And the first thing we're going to do is we're going to do the outline leaves. So this is, if you tried to position this on the block, there is no way, it would be very difficult to get it positioned so that the shading will stamp right over it. So what we do, what we try to do, is just take it, stamp side down, flat side up, and drop it. And that way it falls in its natural position. And then we're going to pick it up. This is our outline, so we're going to do it in black. Black memento. All right. So our flowers are going to go here, here, and here. So I'm going to do it this way. Just like that. All right, there we go. So I'm going to clean this. Put it back. It's a big piece. Pick up the shading and turn it over and drop it down. Pick it up, and then our shading is going to be in soft succulent. So let's get our shading stamped. All right. We're going to leave that open because we're going to use it again in a few minutes. All right, and I'm going to position this. You know, the one thing I've noticed, well, it did better this time. Line it up. Sure it's all down. There it is. Nice. Nice, nice. That looks so nice. All right. Clean that. Put it back. Now, we're ready to do our flowers. So we're going to set this aside, get our punch, and we need some white cardstock, a strip of white cardstock. And to get our flowers lined up the way they need to be lined up, we're going to use a template. Now, all I did was I took my punch, took a piece of white cardstock, I went in, it was this way, and I punched it out. So now I have a template. I just threw the white pieces away because I really didn't intend to use them. But we have our template, and this is going to help us make our stamps line up with the punch. So now I'm going to take these and upside down. Nope, it's got to be right side up on this. No, it's got to be upside down. So I turned my paper over. Hold on. No, I didn't. I didn't turn it over. So we're going to fit this in just like that. It just kind of snugs right in there, and you really need to lift it up so that it doesn't stand up. And then I'm going to take my leaf and place it in there. My fingers grab hold. There. And then I'm going to set it down carefully and get my block. These are the outline, and pick this up. All right. So now when I stamp it on here, it's going to fit my punch. So I think on this one, no, I'm going to go ahead and stamp it in the black. Yeah. So I'm going to, this is the outline. So I'm going to do it in black. And I want the leaf at the bottom, and I want it about 1/4 of an inch from the bottom. So stamp it. All right, let me see if I can get the rest of those. You know what? When something like that happens, I have this handy dandy little Signo pen that I come along. And I do that too. And this is going to be shaded in. My pen is drying up. I have used this pen forever. There we go. All right, and we're going to do a couple more of those. So, make sure I get ink on that end piece now. You know, there are all kinds of ways to fix our mistakes, and I make mistakes. Do you? I do. I do. All right, so here we have another one. Leaf at the bottom. Make sure the whole thing stamps this time. And I'm going to get one more on. Okay. All right, so now we have our flowers, our outline for our flowers. I'm going to leave that on there. I'm going to leave it on. All right, and so now we're going to color them in. We'll fill them in or put in the shading. And that's this one. We're going to do the same thing. I'm going to fit it into the hole. It's so much easier to tell. And with the shading, I'm not going to use the leaf because I want the leaf a different color. I want it to be green. What did I do with my, oh, there it is, my other block. Set it down. Pick it up. And now I'm ready to shade my flowers. And I'm going to use all three. I'm going to use Polished Pink, Mango Melody, and Flirty Flamingo. So let me just start with Flirty Flamingo. And color this one. Shade it in. Line it up. You're going to see how pretty this looks. Isn't that beautiful? All right. Clean my stamp. Put my Flirty Flamingo away. Get out my Mango Melody. Line it up. These photopolymer stamps are wonderful. Got that one. Oops, got some ink on it still. Put my Mango Melody away and use my Polished Pink. All right, last one. Line it up. There we go. Perfect. Perfect, perfect, perfect. All right, now still some Polished Pink. That's okay. Now we're going to go ahead and do the shading on our leaf, but we only need a little, I have a little block, there it is. And we're going to use our soft succulent again. So we'll do this leaf. And we'll do this leaf. And we'll do this leaf. And I need to go back and see if I can fill that one in a little more. All right. Put that one away. Now we're ready to punch. I'll put that over there. Close up my soft succulent. Get out my punch. Now we're ready to punch. All right. So all we have to do is line this up, and it should line up pretty perfectly. And I'm going to turn it over. Try to hold on to it so they don't go everywhere. I've learned that when I punch it face up, they fly everywhere. So here we have our Flirty Flamingo and our leaf. And now our Mango Melody. There we go. Turn it over. Punch it. So now we have our Mango Melody and another leaf. And now our polished pink. All right. Turn it over. Great. Got our flowers. It's our polished pink. And one more leaf. Well, now we're ready to construct our focal point. So I know I want to use one Mango Melody. I want the predominance to be the pink, but I do want to use a Mango Melody. And I think for the centerpiece, I'm going to stack these. It's not going to show a whole lot. In fact, it'll just barely show, but it will just barely show. So we're going to do that. I'll get those good. And another flower here. And I'm going to put another one up here. And maybe even another one. Maybe that one go there. And maybe one here or here. I think maybe here. Do we need that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's 5. All right. We're going to get our flowers down, and then we'll position our leaves. So when I do these flowers, I bend the petals up, and that loosens the fibers, and it just gives it a little bit of dimension. They don't stay up all the way, but there is dimension there. So, and then I'm going to use my Tombow glue that I have put into this little thing, container. Put the lid underneath the rubber band. And I just want to put a dot of glue in the middle, just a little bit. And this one was going to go right there, wasn't it? Right there. Let's go ahead and do the big one. And we want to turn our edges up. We'll go ahead and glue this one down. Just a little bit of glue in the middle. You don't want to use much glue. You don't want to glue down the petals themselves because you're going to be tucking leaves under there. Now we'll use our flirty flamingo flower on top of the polished pink. And I'm going to try to alternate leaves, but like I say, it's a little bit. Okay. This flower, it's another petal pink. Turn up those leaves or petals. Where did I say? I think I said I was going to put it right there. And another polished pink. Turn the petals up. One thing I love about these flowers is that they're all three different. They're all three different. This has 4 petals. This has 5. This has 8. 2, 4, 6, 8. Yeah, I love that. Love that. I could stack these as well. I'm not going to, but you could. And then our Mango Melody. Get those leaves, those petals turned up. We're actually going to turn the leaves up too. All right, get that one down. Now let's tuck our leaves under. Let's see. I think I need another leaf there just to extend that. And I'll tuck another one right under there. And maybe one right over here. Maybe right there. Yeah, right there. All right, so where'd this one go? Here's this one. And I'm going to bend the tip of that leaf up some. Put the adhesive right on the bottom. And I just want it to sit right there with those leaves and add a little dimension to that bundle of leaves. All right, here's this. I'm going to tuck it under right there. And this one, we'll bend it up a little bit. And tuck it under the Mango Melody. All right. Isn't that pretty? It's just so nice. Now we've got some extra flowers that we can use another time. So I think I want to add some sprinkles, some splatter, and maybe even another, let's do this. This is that leaf, this leaf right here. And I'm going to use the soft succulent. Maybe I'll use the solid one. Let me see what that looks like. Oops, where is my solid one? Right there. Yeah, I think I'll use the solid one. I think it'll be better. And I'm going to add another leaf right here. Yeah. And I'm going to add one up here. Just to balance it a little bit more. You know, I could put the background. I could use the outline and do it just like this with the black. But that, you know, leaves are all different. They're all different colors. You're not going to find 2 of the same color on a plant. Now I'm going to add some sprinkles, some splatters, just to take your eyes this direction. Turn it. There. All right. There we go. Okay. Put our splatters back. So we're ready with that. we are ready with that. Let's put it on our Flirty Flamingo mat. And I'm just going to use my Tombow for that. And down it goes. Now you'll notice I didn't add a sentiment to this. I wanted to leave my sentiment blank so that I could do what I want with it later. You could leave room to put a sentiment on this flap if you wanted to, or on the inside flap. So we're going to add it to where the Mango Melody shows and it's centered. So I'm just going to come along with my Stampin' Seal Plus because it holds it a little better. So I'm going to do it right along here and right here. Oh. You know, I've had that happen before with this. Let me get it going. Maybe it won't do it. It still did it. All right, let me see if I'm just going to put, I don't know why it did that. It's done that a few times before. I may need to contact customer support about that. All right, we're going to center it and leave a little bit of the Mango Melody showing right there. I need to. And this is our piece that's going to go underneath. I want to stamp it just a little bit. There's these little bundles of flowers. So I want to do, I'll do an outline and then we'll fill it in on this. I think I bent it. So we'll do an outline right here. All right, when I fill it in, it'll be all right. I don't know why that's not, there we go. All right, and, you know, I'm just not happy with that. So, I don't know why that is not stamping correctly. All right, here we go. I'm going to put flowers right there. That's better. And I think because there are flowers on every corner, then I'm going to have to put something all right. I may have to do I may do the leaf on that corner. We're improvising here. Trying to clean my stamp. Trying to figure out. All right. And so I'm going to do the polished pink. So I'm going to fill in with the polished pink. There's that one. And there's that one. And I think, only because I've got something on the back, I'm going to do a couple of leaves. Just to cover it up a little bit. But I'll do the outline of the leaves instead of the a couple of those little fluffy branches. And I think that'll detract from what's on the back. Yeah. Yeah, it does. All right. We're good. We're good to go. Improvise a little bit. All right, and so now we're ready to put this underneath the flap. And my little trick for doing that is to put glue on the back. And I use white glue so that I can move it around a little bit. And I want it hidden under this piece. So I'm just going to take it and slide it down under there nice and straight. And then close it up. Hold it down. And it's going to come right under that flap. I could even move it this way just a little bit. Just a little bit. Yeah. That's even better. All right. So now we have our card done. And you can put a sentiment in there. If you want to write more on the card, you can put a couple of flowers or leaves on it and put it on the back. And then you've got a card that is ready for whatever you need. All right. So we have made one of these cards with Petal Park. We've learned some tricks about it. If you don't have a demonstrator that you order from, I would love to help you out. This is my online store right here. And you can message me from there or message me from this post or email me at susiezoo@verizon.net. I would love to help you out. And I hope that you have fun playing. If you have Petal Park, I hope this has encouraged you to get it out and play with it and have fun. Thank you for watching. And I would love it if you're watching the replay. If you comment, please let me know. And if you have any questions, I'll be glad to answer those. Thank you, and God bless.